Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I figured I would use the end of the day here to kind of demonstrate how the cross-trade feature works in ATASX. Um, so I guess before jumping in, I did want to just highlight or remind to set it up. You have to hit this menu option here at the right. I'll make sure to blur out my email, and you'll have to go to settings and common settings, and then you'll look for the trading settings where you have to enable cross trade. So that's one thing you'll want to do and keep in mind there. So make sure you do that. And then also you have, if you just right click on the chart and you go to settings, you have a whole bunch of trading settings here. So you would want to enable one click mode. There is the slippage, which basically gives you, you can define how many ticks there are when you place the order versus when you get filled to determine if that order goes through. So I think that's pretty powerful. And then you have, having your trades visible or hidden, or only when the chart trader is open, which is the side panel. Also your orders and then your positions as well. The colors, so I updated the colors to kind of be these. So like if you don't like the colors out of the box, you can definitely change that. So that is um, the basics for using the trading. Now for the cross trade, you'll have to set up that settings which I mentioned, and then you'll have to make sure that your cross trading is actually picked for the micros. So if you have it off, I'm currently on the ES chart, and so if I place a trade, it would be for the ES contract. But if you wanted to cross trade to micros, you would click that. Now, a weird thing I've noticed is there is this indicator that is called cross trading best practice. And it just kind of it just kind of turns on every time you turn on cross trading, and I don't know how to get rid of it. I've hidden it a few times and I even tried to delete it. It just kind of keeps coming back. So that is just one of those things. I think it's just one of those annoying things that you have to deal with since ATASX is kind of a beta platform right now. But just be aware of that. Other thing before I do place a trade, I've noticed with cross trade enabled that ATASX takes a lot longer to close. So if you're trying to like save a workspace or do anything like that, it really takes a long time to close, and I will try to show that at the end of this video. So I think that's a performance issue. So that's something I'm going to share with the team to try to get them to fix that. But hopefully it's a very temporary thing. But for now, I have noticed there's some performance issues when you're trying to close or when you're trying to save a workspace. So it's a bit annoying there. Okay, so when it comes to the trading, so the first thing you can try is you could, just right click and do your buy limits. So you can do that, or right click, do your sell limit. So it's already here. And then it just plots on the chart, which is really good. Oh, other thing also that I noticed is that there is, I think it was for sound. So in settings, so if you go to sound settings, this is something that I disabled. But when you would place an order and all that, it would have like a voice saying order filled and all this. If you don't like that, you'll have to come here and, disconnect the sound, or I think you can update it, but I just disconnected the sound altogether. By default, out of the box, it does make the sound, and I didn't like it, so I definitely took that off. So that would be in the settings here, under that menu, and then you go for sound settings. So that's another thing to just keep in mind. And so when it comes to actual trading, so I did you can kind of right click and place your order, which is really cool. You could also do, I guess I got my alert hit somewhere. You could also do trade on chart. So if you turn that toggle on, now you see these kind of buttons here. And so I could buy limit, which it'll set that there, and then I can sell limit, which it would set that there. And once it's off, then there you go. The annoying thing is that you can't really do much with the chart with this setting on, and so I don't particularly like it, and so I don't think it's something I would use. Other cool thing is that there's kind of strategies for when you do place the orders, so you can automatically have take profits. So let's say you want 100 ticks, and then you want 20 tick stop type of thing. So every time you place an order, it would automatically put your take profit and stop loss at those levels. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then if you had, you could set this break even to where, as you move into profit, let's say, however much, like 1 tick, 2 tick, 10 ticks, and then you start moving, or I think it's like if you move into profit by 5, then it'll move you to break even and kind of increment it each tick. And then same thing for a trailing stop. So, for every 10 ticks you're in profit, it'll move your stop 5 ticks. So for me, this is pretty advanced. It's not something I normally use, but you have that option, which is pretty cool. And then there's multi-level, which I need to look into this a bit more. This is not something I normally use. Seems a bit advanced, but I guess you do have that option to get more complicated if you want. But for me, I simply like to place my trades, place my limit orders, place my stops, or place my market order, and then just kind of let the trade play out, or I'll exit, just depending on what I see. And so that's basically how I trade. So I guess I'll place an order here in a second, just to kind of show how things work. I don't think we're going to fall over. We've been really grinding up and just like pushing higher, pushing higher, pushing higher. I don't know that there's any other, let me see really quick. Yeah, so we've closed the gap here. Like we're just going. I mean, I guess this level, if you can kind of see in the hourly, might be a good place to short, or a good place where you would think you'd want to short, or at least decide. And so that is a bit far. Yeah, so, there's that. Yeah, so it's that level here. So we'll see. I mean, CBD is up, but CBD is kind of still positive here on the regular trading hours. It's up on the electronic trading hours. We're also up a little bit on my rolling 60, so I don't think shorting here is a good idea, but we'll do it anyways. So how you would place a trade. So I guess in this case, you could do sell market, buy market, sell ask, and all these things. So we'll just do sell at the ask. And so that places a limit order right at the ask. Okay, now you're filled. So you'll notice that the border is red. And then, so it tells you that like, hey, you're in that type of position. Also, the number is now red because you're negative. And so you can just kind of drag this, put your stop there. And then you can kind of just drag here and put your take profit. And then you can just kind of let it do its thing. Other cool thing I like is this break even button. I wonder why. So before this was, I think you can move it to break even once you're in profit. So once you're in profit, this button will highlight and then it can actually hit you. It'll move your stop to break even. And then what's cool about it is even as you add, it will still continue. Yeah, you see it flashing here as you get into profit. So even as you add into the position while you're in profit, it'll actually move your stop to break even, right? And so let's say you start with like 5 contracts. So look at that big sell order limit right there. Let's say you start with five contracts and you start adding +1, +1, +1 as you're in profit. It would basically just kind of follow you down. So I thought that's pretty cool, right? And so now this is available to click. Let's see what's happening here. Dun, dun, dun. We got some. Uh-oh, what happened here? Yeah, something weird happened with the chart as I was trading. So normally I don't have these numbers showing on the TPO, so I need to see what's going on with that. It's kind of annoying. So like I said, ATASX is still in beta. I've never had this problem here before, so I'll need to see what's going on with that. But let's just let this trade play out, I guess. So I like it because, the speed of tape means that the volume's kind of accelerating here. Oh, ouch, that was loud. And then CVD is kind of barely negative on the rolling 60. Candles are negative, so you just kind of let it play out. I am kind of annoyed by the TPO having the text though, so I feel like I want to do something about that. All right, so let's see how this next candle closes. We got 5 seconds. I will move my stop to break even and then just let it play out. All right, so it's gonna break the low of that one. Let's see. I mean, even though it's power hour, there's not a lot of volume happening right now, it feels like. All right, so now I can push that. So now you're break even plus like a tick, right? And so now, there you go. And so while we let that play out, let me see what the hell is going on with, oh, I got my other, I had a bunch of alerts there, I guess. Sorry about that if that was loud. Um, yeah, guess we broke that 15-minute low, broke this 15-minute low, broke that one. I mean, maybe we'll go a little bit more, you know? Maybe this is like the end of day kind of flush, potentially. Um, Back to here. It would be amazing if you got the D-Lock, right? Okay, all my alerts got hit. Kind of hurts my ears. Oh, but so here if I sold, you see how the break even kind of follows, right? So it's pretty cool. And if I sell again, it's pretty cool. I just wonder if we'll get a flush, so I'll put it down. See, now you're getting greedy, right? Yeah, I mean, it feels like maybe we'll get a little bit more. But I do like that break even, right? Because then you can just like hit it, and especially if it's moving fast, and just hit it, but kind of keep your risk in line. So can't complain there too much. Here we'll probably get stopped out, which is fine. I mean, if it's so close, you're like, well, okay, so we got stopped out. And so there you go. Like, and so that's how you can kind of trade using the ATASX and then using that break even feature. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so I think that's all I got to show. I need to figure out what's going on with this TPO. These numbers should not be showing, so I get there's like a setting I need to fix. But, little quirks like that with the platform happen every now and then. Cool. Well, hopefully this was helpful, and good luck and don't get caught. Thank you.